So when you were born, you were actually formed from an egg that grew inside of your mom when she was still inside of her mom. So like my mom was born in 1957 and my grandmother carried her while she formed the egg that would become me. So like what does that mean, right? Other than it's actually kind of fascinating that our lives in some ways started that far back. And then you think about what was your grandmother going through the year, the month, the time that she gave birth to your mother? Was she in a lot of fear? Was she in a supportive relationship? Was it planned? Was it just the generation? Genuinely, our bodies started within the bodies of our grandmothers and everything they went through. But more fascinating to me is that there's evidence about, look up inherited family trauma and epigenetics. I'm going to share on screen a book that just changed my life when I read it, because there's evidence that says our experiences, like maybe an unknown fear or a sudden onset of anxiety or just this mannerism that you are like looking through your life story trying to figure out, where did this start? Was I scared of something as a kid? Did something happen? And maybe you were, and maybe it did. But stuff can actually live in us for generations back that wasn't ours. Like, I think it's something like 17 generations back, we can carry. They did these experiments on these poor little mice where they made them terrified of the scent of cherry blossom, I think it was. And then the generations after them, because mice reproduce a lot faster than humans do, so they could test, are these mice still afraid of cherry blossoms? And they were. This like innocuous scent that actually isn't bad at all, because their ancestor mice had become afraid of it. They were afraid of it too. So like, let that sink in. There can be things in your life, whether it's behaviors, fears and anxiety, just certain mannerisms. And yes, some of them are nurture. I mean, nature and nurture is such a mishmash of like what was created because of the environment we were in, but some of it is just straight up nature. And I love the term genetics loads the gun, environment pulls the trigger, because within us, we have so many different possibilities. Like, I have a history of addiction in my family. I was a drug addict. That environment pulled the trigger. I'm sober now. A fascinating rabbit hole. And also, it's possible to heal. It's not just this nihilistic, yeah, you're super fucked up and so were all your ancestors. I think in an instant, things can be healed that are generations and centuries old. So there's hope.